What if it's a trick? Like Bill Wilkinson. We won't know until we ask her.
It could mean us harm.
Or it could mean that she needs help transitioning, from here to a better place.
Tell him about the Twinkie.
What Twinkie? Stole a Twinkie off my desk.
Evil.
Confession time. I ate that. Justin! I'm sorry.
Well, I vote not to make contact with the dead thing in the office.
They're called ghosts. Don't be insensitive.
Okay, great. The point is, we don't know what it wants.
Because we haven't asked her.
Yeah, and if we don't make contact, it doesn't know we're here.
It looked right at you when you said that.
We need to do something.
I did. I called somebody for help. Who are you gonna call? No, I did call someone. He should be here any minute.
Heat him up.
You called Eris?
He's got this.
Hey, Ghost. I ain't afraid of no ghost.
Really?
Wait.
Well, we still have that problem.
Josh, why are you moving?
Welcome to Film Riot, the show that takes mystery out of the effects and techniques, going some of your favorite Hollywood films. I'm your host, Ryan Conley, and once again, we were inspired by the release of something that we're all pretty excited about, a new Ghostbusters film, which so far is getting pretty solid reviews. I dig Paul Feig as a director, and I love the cast, so can't wait. But that's besides the point. Today, we are looking at how we did this shot, which was inspired by this shot from the trailer. Sort of our own simplified version of that ghost, so
let's do it! Rings, put your rings in!
Literally zero reason for you to be involved.
I just wanted to be a part of today.
I don't think we've ever discussed this. We put you behind the camera for a reason.
Stop before you steal.
Stop, and think of how you've...
Now be quiet, let's move forward with the episode.
That's what I get for trying to be on your side. We did this effect with a mixture of practical elements and digital elements. First off was how we shot it. I wanted to add some physical smoke into the shot that we could use to blend with our ghost, which of course we would be adding the ghost later in post. I also wanted it to seem like she was radiating blue light, which needed to affect her surroundings. So I built this movable rig that both lit up the surrounding areas and spit out smoke. Most of this I built from things I already had around the office, like the smoke machine, which we talked about in this episode here, and the lights, which I used in this episode right here. Links to both of those are in the notes below too. The other things that I gathered were a piece of wood, 2 L brackets, and 2 pipe clamps here, which I actually didn't use, so ignore those, some tubing that I got from Home Depot, and a push cart. Assembly was incredibly easy too. I just drilled a few holes into the push cart and then used the L brackets and screws to secure the wood to the cart. Then I grabbed the cleared tubing and zip tied it to the wood and then duct taped the top of the tubing shut. After that, I made holes in the tube on either side, which ended up being a terrible idea, but we'll get to that in a second. Then I threw my fog machine on the cart and attached the tube to the front of the fog machine using grip clamps, or A-clamps, or pony clamps, or number 2 clamps, whatever you want to call them. After that, I grabbed my strip of lights and wrapped them around the wood and tube all the way down. And finally, I threw a power strip on there so I could plug everything in and attach that to an extension cord. And now I have this, a movable stack of light and fog, so we're all set up to give this a shot, which I opted to record all my ghost assets at 120 frames per second so that we'd get this smooth, otherworldly flow out of everything. But like I said before, our first attempt was not so great due to the idea of putting the holes in the side. So after that was a clear no-go, I switched to having all the holes in the front and only a few on the side sides, then on action, we pushed the cart toward the camera, trying to keep speed with the amount of smoke that was coming out as we moved, and we got this. All of the clips of our different smoke tests put together turned out to be pretty calming to watch too. I also grabbed a clean plate so that we could take out the cart in the end, and we were good to move on. Next up was grabbing the footage of our ghost. This was shot on green screen, again at 120 frames per second, and with fans on our actress so that we could get that nice fluid movement from her hair and some of the clothing. For lighting, I opted to go with just one Kino, set low, and that was it. But now that I have all the shots I need to get those ready to send to Stark for all the VFX goodness, I did a basic comp of my shots right there inside of Premiere. I just layered my clips, putting the fog and light clip at the bottom, the clean plate above that, which I used to mask out the cart. Then on top of that, I added our actress, then keyed and placed her where I wanted, and now my VFX artist will have a really good idea of what I want. But I could take it even further if I wanted to, add some roughen edges to the clip, some color grading to get it even closer to that rough idea. And with how much Premiere has added, and with plugins from places like Red Giant, HitFilm, you really could probably get this effect very close all inside of Premiere. But I'm not going to do that. I will just select everything here, right-click to send to After Effects, and now Stark can open this After Effects file and have a really solid starting point and idea of what I was thinking. But now we take a quick break and then get into some VFX.
Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? It's like rain on your wedding day. Good advice. That's not right, dang it!
If you're someone who struggles with tax stuff, listen up. FreshBooks has created ridiculously simple cloud accounting software that helps service-based small business owners get a handle on their paperwork. FreshBooks keeps all your cash flow details in one place so you know exactly what invoice you sent, who has paid you what, and what your income is. Their mobile app lets you take pictures of your receipts and organize them for later, which makes claiming expenses at tax time a breeze. You'll be so much more prepared and way less stress. And right now, FreshBooks is offering a 30-day trial. Just go to freshbooks.com/FilmRiot and enter FilmRiot in the How Did You Hear About Us section.
Logo.
Jumping back in, now that we've sent our footage over to After Effects with everything already lined up, first we're going to rekey our footage to get it more dialed in. Then, like we showed in our other episode, we're going to track the subject's face using After Effects built-in face tracker. You can see a tutorial on how we did that right here, link in the notes too. We're doing this just so we have that for later with all the features we're going to want to attach to it. Now we'll perfect the roughen edges layer that we added in Premiere, and we're going to add two kinds. On the first one, the edge type was set to roughen, and then the second one, it was set to spiky. On evolution, we added an expression by alt-clicking on the evolution button and wrote time *100. These settings worked for us, but you may have to adjust for your shot. Next, we added an Element 3D layer and used a skull model, which we got from Video Copilot's free Halloween pack. Next, we changed the lighting type to natural in the add lighting setting under lighting in Element 3D. After that, we lowered the saturation all the way down, messed with the contrast, and added a small amount of blur to make it look like it was under the skin of the actress. And then we attached this to the face tracking that we did from before using the bridge of the nose so that it would follow the center of the head. Then we made our own keyframe adjustments as needed, and then put it in a soft light blending mode, and we have this. Now we move into the finishing touches of the entire thing. For the eyes, we made a layer and added a circle mask with a stroke on it, and then scaled it down, duplicated it, and then positioned the two over the eyes on the actress. Next, we threw on Video Copilot's Color Vibrance plugin. This gave us a very nice looking blue glow over the entire thing. To blend it all in more with the environment, we used Trapcode Particular with the particles set to cloudlet, and then reused the keyed layer as the source. We added a bit of turbulent noise and wind to help it all blend nicely. Then we mess with the opacity of the final comp to push that ghostly look and feel. And the very last step is to add the final glow. This is more of an artistic choice, but on certain layers we added Trapcode Shine. It gave a nice balance of glow and light rays. They are subtle, but really tie it all together. Then after that, we added an adjustment layer on top of everything to add an overall glow to the shot. This one is very subtle with a high radius that gives us this nuanced look of blue light in our scene being diffused around the environment. You can see the difference it makes if we toggle it on and off. But there you have it, not as straightforward as some of our other effects. There's a lot of room for interpretation and adding your own flair, but really that's what you should be doing with any of these tutorials. Take the general idea and make it your own.
Logo.
That's it for today. If you are a fan of Ghostbusters, make sure you check out our other show, Variant. In the latest episode, Eris breaks down the evolution of the Ghostbusters. Also, if you haven't heard, Monday Challenge is back, so check out this past Monday's episode for that. And I'll see you guys next week when I hitch a ride on the outside of a spaceship, follow the girl I love.